We're just waiting a couple minutes just to allow everyone to get filtered in and sit quietly and awkward together.
Not awkward.
Yeah.
I think we're good to get started whenever you guys are ready.
Okay, I think we're ready. Are you ready, Bonnie?
I'm so ready.
Okay, let's do this. First off, I just wanted to say thank you, as I always do, to MPC. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Bud Jorgensen, and I represent Saskatchewan as a director on the MPC board. And the group that we have right now working for us on behalf of the industry at MPC is doing an amazing job for us. So I'd like to start everything relating to MPC by saying thank you to the staff of MPC for being amazing. We really appreciate you very much. And thank you for putting on today's training as well. Thank you for everyone that's attending. We have a great attendance today, which speaks to the importance of training in our industry and becoming better, which is one of the mandates of MPC. So again, thank you all. And then lastly, say thank you to Bonnie for hosting today and doing her presentation. We really appreciate it. What she's going to talk about her presentation today is on Reigning Referrals and Uncommon Loyalty webinar. So again, thank you, Bonnie. For those who aren't familiar with her already, Bonnie has been an entrepreneur for 30 years and is the senior gifting specialist with Cutco Closing Gifts. When Cutco Closing Gifts was piloted in 2007, Bonnie brought the program to Calgary's realtors and mortgage brokers and was the first gift consultant in North America to achieve $1 million in gift sales. It is no surprise then that Bonnie is also a Cutco Hall of Fame member and consistently the #1 rep in Canada. Bonnie attributes her success to a desire to bring value and strong belief that business is all about relationships and a deep commitment to being a student of the business. Today, we'll get a glimpse into the mindset, daily actions, and referral skills of a 30-year fellow entrepreneur as she deep dives into what it takes to build a resilient repeat and referral business. We'll also hear Bonnie share her story of building a database of 3,000 individuals, predominantly through referrals, during her first 15 years of business, then transitioning those skills to build a thriving brand across Canada. She will also reveal 3 actionable disciplines to implement immediately in today's ever-evolving market. Before I hand it over to Bonnie, I just want to mention that if you have any questions, you can use the Q&A box, and we'll do our best to answer them at the end of the presentation. Additionally, we're recording today's presentation, and it'll be available on demand on the MPC website. And today's session is worth 0.75 professional development CE credits. So I'll hand it over to Bonnie. Thank you again.
Thank you, Bud. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, also thanks to Megan, Carl, MPC. It's been quite an honor to be able to come on once a year and present to you guys, bring as much value. That's my goal today, as much as possible to you, to impact your business. And thank you all for joining. Like, we have 126 people on right now. And I think, like, not only is that wonderful to see you here just for me to be able to bring value to you, but also just as a fellow entrepreneur in a really busy time, to take 45 minutes or an hour out of your day, it means a lot. And so let's dive in. I'm going to share my screen in a little bit, in a couple of minutes, and slides, but I want to just share. I'm obviously clearly, so many of you I probably know, some of you I haven't met yet, but I'm not a mortgage broker, but my business is really similar to yours. I just sell different things, except there's one key distinction between my business and yours, and other than the product we sell, is we as Cutco reps weren't allowed to actually build our business in any other way other than through referral. So I want you to imagine right now a world in your industry, in mortgages. Just imagine right now a world where, so there's no Zillow, there's no online lead gen, there's no paying for leads, there's no Facebook ads. That's what it was like for me, and pretty much still is to this day. We weren't allowed to door knock. We weren't allowed to cold call. We weren't allowed to do any sort of advertising at all, still to this day, even on social media. Can't advertise. We weren't allowed to do any bus benches. I mean, that would have been super weird. but that's been my world for 31 years. 31 years ago, I started selling Cutco. Can you guys believe that? Clearly, I was 5 when I began. They gave me a bag of knives, said, careful. Just kidding. I was 18. I was taking marketing at University of Calgary, actually. I was taking marketing, but I never wanted to be in sales. But I stumbled upon this opportunity to sell Cutco as a business experience opportunity through my first year university, and one thing led to another. And like I said, I had to build it 100% through referral. So what would you do right now, today, if that was the only way for you? If you could only build your business through referral, well, guaranteed you'd make the most of every relationship you already have. And so that's what I learned to do. I started with my sphere, like they tell us to do, right? Starting a business. I started with my sphere. I actually literally wrote down everybody I knew. If you were in my mom's address book, you were getting a phone call. And I was a shy kid, awkward at the time. Like I just, I knew nothing about what to do, but I just talked to people, like just called everybody, and I sat down with them and I learned a couple things. I learned to create a great experience. And I think we all know to do that in business, right? I learned to focus on the person in front of me and try to create such a great experience in the presentation or with me. And instead of talking about mortgages, I was educating them on knives at the time, right? But I learned to create a great experience such that they would feel compelled to refer me on. And I learned to make, and this is key, referrals part of every conversation I had. I had to let them know referrals mattered to me, and I had to do everything in my power to encourage them and compel them to refer me. So I learned to do something called plant the seed, which I'm going to teach you at the end of this. Planting the seed, meaning I would share on the front end of every presentation after I got to know them a little bit, right before I went into my presentation part of things, I would share that I just wanted to create such a great experience for them that they'd feel compelled to refer me, so that their friends and family could have the same experience. And in that way, I let them know referrals mattered and that their experience mattered to me. And at the end, I learned to ask for referrals every single time, you guys. Every single time I asked for referrals. And once I got the hang of it, I averaged 7 written down referrals per presentation I did back in the day, whether they bought or not. And I sit here before you with a database of 5,000 clients now, built strictly through referral and relationship building, becoming the #1 Cutco gifting rep in North America. So like you, I care a lot about referrals. I care a lot about results. Of course, I have my goals and sales goals, things like that, just like you. But I care deeply about my relationships. And if we want it to rain referrals, if we want a lot of referrals, we need to elevate the level of experience, like I talked about. Of course, we know that, and the level of relationship. Because whether you sell knives or gifts or homes or mortgages, people are at the core. Human beings are at the core, period. That's it. That's why I love this quote from Scott Stratton. Scott's one of my heroes. I love him, and I have become friends. And he wrote on marketing, unselling. And he has a quote that I love: if you believe business is about relationships, make building them your business. I always come back to that in my business when it feels like things are getting complicated. I just go back to this. I'm like, that's what matters. That's what matters. So how do we build not just average relationships, but abundant ones? People that keep coming back, advocates, abundant relationships, people that refer us. Because especially as we grow and scale our businesses, because the one thing I know is the higher we get in production, the harder it is to maintain individual engagement and connection. Can anyone relate to that? We wind up playing catch up and losing opportunities for connection and therefore referrals to emerge on an ongoing basis, right? And what doesn't change as we grow and scale and get busier is people's need to feel valued and acknowledged and appreciated. That never changes. Did you know almost 70% of people will leave us because they think we're indifferent to the relationship? That's a perceived indifference. They think we don't care. It doesn't even matter how great we are at gifting or mortgages, or yes, that matters. Being master of your craft is huge for being referred and for people staying with you and coming back to you. But the relationship piece, people need to feel like you do care, right? But do they know that? And so I think one of the greatest questions that I try to answer every day in my business, and what I'm going to try to answer here for you, as you scale and grow your business, how do you scale thoughtfulness and meaningful engagement? Because the answer to that is the answer to abundant referrals and uncommon loyalty? And I think there's 2 steps to answer that question. Number 1 of 2 is more of a mindset or operating piece that I want to share with you, is to play generously and give, show up first. What do I mean by this? I believe this to my core 31 years of business later, being mentored and coached and just being surrounded by so many incredible clients too. And you guys teach me this every day. Generosity is the most, I believe, the most powerful way of being to unlock loyalty and referrals. It's the currency of abundant relationships, I think, in business and in life. What do I mean by generosity? Is giving without attachment or expectation of return. I don't mean boundaryless giving or tireless giving. I just mean giving without attachment or expectation of attachment of something coming back to you in this moment, or it's got to look this way or this. And I think generosity can take many forms. It can be monetary, but it's not always so. Like, I think generosity, so we can be generous with donations, money, like client appreciation gifts, things like that. We can be generous with our time and attention and presence. I actually think you guys being on here today, watching me, is a form of your generosity. Like, you're giving of your time and attention. I really, truly believe that in your presence. And also, we can be generous with our value, our skill set, our craft, knowing the market. Me sharing my story here with you today and bringing this value is, I think, a form of generosity too. And we're all doing that every day with our clients, bringing value. So here's the challenge. I think it's easier to be generous when things are going well for us, right? When we have money in the bank, or clients are calling and deals are flowing and things are good. I think it's a lot harder to be generous when we're struggling for whatever reason. Our buyers are frustrated, or the market's not cooperating with us, or we don't have a lot of money in the bank, or we're just getting started and we just don't know our next step, or even we're many years in and we don't know our next step, or we're struggling with self-doubt. Whatever it is, I think we as human beings and entrepreneurs, same thing, we can fall into scarcity. And it's challenging sometimes I'm going to invite you instead, in those moments, in whatever moments, in all moments, with whatever resources you have available to you, to try to lean into generosity instead and show up in whatever way you can to give first, rather than proactively rather than reactively. I want to tell you a story about that. So Alex, this guy here, he's one of my clients, kind of one of my office managers. He runs a chain of offices in Ontario. He manages 3 offices. We have a great relationship. He's I brought value to him before. I presented to his team kind of like this on Zoom. And I was trying to get a hold of him last year around this time to book another presentation. And we weren't connecting. We weren't engaging. I don't know if anyone's ever had somebody not return their calls. That's what was happening here. And so I actually said to myself, I'm like, that's a relationship I could probably strengthen. And I asked myself, how could I play more generously with Alex? So I hopped on social media and I found out he liked to fish. And I found a quote that was meaningful to him: dragons can be beaten. And so I had this gift done up for him, a Cutco fishing knife. We engraved the quote on the blade and I sent it off to him. Why? Because I believe in showing love with sharp things. And I want to read you the message that I wrote to him, because so much of giving out there, you guys, whatever you're giving, however you're giving and showing up, is the message or the intention behind it. So I want to read this to you. Alex, I saw a quote on your social media and it inspired me, and I know you love to fish, so I hope you don't mind me engraving that inspiration into something that gives you joy. I hope we get to reconnect this year, and in the meantime, happy fishing, fighting, and living. Happy 20th birthday to Meadowtown 2. How amazing is that? So I sent this gift off to Alex, and honestly, you guys, I didn't think anything of it. I kind of let it go. I just did that letting go and just went about my business. A couple weeks later, I wake up to an email in my inbox from Alex. Turns out it's not an email at all. It's a blog post he's written about me and this gift and the impact it had. I see 2 missed calls on my phone. I see another email from Alex. Bonnie, did you get my blog? Now he's chasing me down. This is how refreshing. And we end up on the phone that day, of course. We have the best conversation that day that we've ever had. I don't know if you've ever had a phone call with a client or somebody in your sphere that you can feel the relationship deepen in a moment. That's totally what happened. And we had this awesome conversation, and he tells me in that conversation that he sent that blog post to 4,500 agents, realtors, mortgage brokers, with a 63% open rate. And he invites me to speak to his team. I got a bunch of business from a blog post I wasn't even expecting. Why I'm telling you this story is because it reminded me that generosity is not just something that we do, it's who we choose to be in any given moment, and to show up and give first in any way we can. It also gets you out of scarcity, I find, that mentality, which leads me to tell you about Taylor Hack. Taylor is a top realtor actually here in Alberta, who we work with, and we do some of his gifts, closing gifts and referral gifts for him and his team. Taylor, for me, is a great model of giving first to what he calls energize his relationships. How many of you have relationships right now in your business that you could energize? I love that. I love thinking of it that way, or pour into, or energize. So Taylor calls me up about a year and a half ago, and he's like, Bonnie, I want to do something special for our top 5-star reviewers, people that have taken the time to write a review for us. So we put together a gifting campaign to surprise and delight those people. And I want you to watch what happened. Check it out.
Hey there, Vonnie. It's Taylor here. I hope that you're doing awesome. I'm going to do some math for you. So we sent out about 27 of the little knives that could, and based on my estimate, I think we've 10x'd our money in 60 days. So not all the deals are written yet, but what I'm saying is that we have almost got a 20% referral rate using this mechanism in 60 days since implementation. So that makes me feel awesome. In fact, that makes me feel like a gangster.
Okay, so Taylor gave first, right? He showed up and gave in that way. I mean, he could have given in any way. And I think a lot of us actually have, we have lots of examples of giving in our businesses, giving first, giving back. The thing is, it can be challenging and sporadic as we get busy, like I said, unless we have systems around it, like anything, right? So it comes back to this question: as you scale your business, how do you scale that thoughtfulness and meaningful engagement? Well, step 2 of 2, you build a gratitude machine. What's a gratitude machine, you ask? Well, it looks like this. And there's 3 things that go into it in my mind. And I'm going to walk through these 3 things: proactive reach outs, gifts, and handwritten cards, with my promise to you. If you executed on these 3 things consistently this year and beyond, you would absolutely have way more abundant referrals and uncommon loyalty, because the more we show up in uncommon ways for our clients, the more they'll show up in uncommon ways for us. So let's walk through proactive reach outs. What if you thought of reaching out and calling your clients, or reaching out or texting a video, Facebook message, checking in with your clients as a form of generosity? You know, rather, like, I think sometimes we get in our heads about this. I know I have in the past, and I'm going to share what helps me. Because I actually, honestly, I know I'm speaking to you right now, so this is a super weird thing to say, but I don't see myself as a speaker. I speak a lot, but so maybe I should see myself as a speaker. But here's the thing: I see myself as like you, exactly like you, in the trenches every day. I have a list of people to talk to today. I've already made like 5 or like 7 reach outs to clients. I'm just doing what you're doing every day, putting together deals and keeping in touch with my people, right? So, I mean, how many times can people talk about, how many talks have we heard about follow-up? I know follow-up can also sometimes, depending on how you view it, be a trigger for some business owners. They're like, oh, I mean, how many of you have call reluctance? I was talking to one of my top mortgage brokers that we've worked together for years for his gift. And we were talking last year around this time, and he was telling me, he's like, I have total call reluctance. I just don't want to call my people. Well, and it was really cool to hear that, because I think a lot of us struggle here. So what helps me is, number 1, there's lots of ways to show care and show up and show care. I have that mantra in my business: show up and show care. Text. You don't have to always call. I do call people. I think it's kind of like this thing that people are like, wow, glad you called. That's kind of cool. It stands out. But texting, sending a video, I can't tell you how many videos I send to clients. Hey, checking in, you know, about how are your gifts going? It's been 6 months, you know, how are you? How's the system working for you? Checking in, how's business? How's your family? You know, I appreciate you, but thanks for choosing us. like that kind of stuff, right? Calls, texts, videos, Facebook message. There's so many ways to reach out and engage with clients. I measure engagement and activity. That's it in my business. And I target it 3 to 5 a day or more. My new thing right now is 5 to 10 before 10 a.m. 5 to 10 reach outs before 10 a.m. Text calls, videos, whatever I'm doing. Just that's my target. I find having a target is helpful. And if you're not currently doing this consistently, just do 1 text a day before 10 a.m. Just try that. Get in the habit. Like James Clear says, Atomic Habits. Start like with the tiniest thing and measure it. And also, this really helps me. Visibility beats ability. I love that quote. It reminds me to not worry about being perfect when I show up and reach out to a client. I don't have to know exactly what I'm saying, just be human. When you're authentic, you have no competition. Just be yourself and be visible and valuable. How am I showing up to be visible to my clients today? Not just the marketplace on social media or what ads I'm putting out there or what else I'm attracting and networking. And those are all important, but how am I being visible and value to my people? Handwritten cards. Let's never underestimate the value of a handwritten card, you guys. Have stacks. Have a stack of cards at your desk. I think that's one of the coolest things. Make it easy to just quickly write a card, meaning you don't have to go out and get them. You know, I think when you action gratitude, I think we're all very grateful for our clients, right? We're all really grateful. But sometimes they don't know how much we appreciate them until we tell them or share it on a video but something tangible like a handwritten card. It's so old fashioned now. In some way it stands out, right? I've gotten cards, I put them up. Makes such an impact sometimes. So one of my clients, he's a top mortgage broker here in Calgary. And he's a young guy, super techie, he's amazing YouTube following. He's just amazing guy, amazing business person. And he was skeptical about cards. So he actually shared with me, he did a gratitude project. He wrote 2 cards a day for 4 or 5 months and he tracked the results. He experimented. $35,000 in repeat and referral business from cards. Start writing. Just 1 card a day, 1 card a week, whatever you can commit to. Gifts. Let's talk about gifts, not just Cutco gifts. Gifts in general. I'm pretty passionate about this. Not just because of Cutco, honestly, but gifting in general, I think is underutilized, especially in small business, for the power that it can be. I think gifts for centuries have simply been a vehicle to show the value we're placing on a relationship. And if relationships are our business, gifts become this beautiful way to honor and acknowledge our relationships. And they're the most powerful and scalable form of generosity. Taylor was able to thank 27 people like that. So let's break down gifts in your business. Closing gifts. What are you doing each time this happens? Are you making generosity easy on yourself? Or are you running around trying to figure it out every time? What do I get them? What do I get them? Oh, I should probably grab this or send maybe I'll just send an gift card. It can be challenging, especially as we grow and scale. Again, we want to create systems here that work, that really work. So what do you give? There's lots of great choices out there, you guys. There's definitely not just one great choice. Lots of great choices. Consider this, though, when making your choice. Consider this. If your gift could represent how you want the relationship to go, make your gift, or at least part of it, memorable, long-lasting, useful, and world-class. If you're going to give something world-class. So that every time the client uses the gift you gave them, they think of you, they remember it becomes commemorative of the experience versus giving something that's just consumed and gone. And don't get me wrong, I think there's a time and place for cookies and consumables and different things like that. But I think make your closing gift, or at least part of it, or your condition removal gift, even better. That's surprise and delight right there. That's like unexpected, right? But make your gift memorable, long-lasting, useful, world-class. And ideally set this system up in advance. So you're not scrambling at the last minute to figure something out and then the opportunity to be generous just falls by the wayside. I think we've all had that happen before. Referrals. What are you doing when a referral comes in? Do you have a system for it? And I'm going to share the system that top mortgage brokers across Canada have shared with me. So here we go. Referral comes in. So some of you might be doing this already, but if you're not, have a listen. Referral comes in. Immediately, of course, call that. Oh my God, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Acknowledge the referral, basically. Acknowledge or appreciate and say, I will keep you posted, of course. And then immediately a handwritten card with a coffee on you goes out to that referral source. And then if that referral closes, you have an opportunity to say thank you to that referral source again, right? I've seen mortgage brokers, agents do different things, brokers do different things, dinner out, a bottle of wine, personalized Yetis, and then of course Cutco. I will share this because it's fun. Like the Cutco spreader, I know some of you are doing this. Weekend Engraved, thanks for spreading the word. It's so cheesy, but it's awesome and people love it. So imagine giving that to a referral source or your top referral sources with bagels and cream cheese from a local bakery or mailing it out. It just, yeah, and then building the collection from there. VIP recognition. What do I mean by this? 80-20 rule, I think we all know this. 20% of our people are going to give us 80% of our business and referrals. Do you know who these people are? Have you segmented your database? Like, have you tagged your A-list, or I call mine my gold group or VIPs? And it's really, really powerful to do that. And even if you're new in this business and you've got 2 people that have your back and one is your mom, just like she's your VIP, like just start the list and create the habit of shining your light or loving on these people, energizing these relationships, pouring into them a little bit extra. Because these are the people that will stand for you. These will be people that will be your army out there. I try to love all my people. I'm not perfect at this, but I know my top 20%, and I know my top 20% of my top 20%. And we've done different things, random, I'm constantly like, what was it? Like just yesterday, I had a client, a longtime client reorder. And of course, I always send them gifts with their orders, things like that. But I just was like, I'm doing something extra special. So I sent them the newest knife we have, just like that's going to come separately at a separate time. Boom. It's going to land with the handwritten card and just like surprise and delight. Personalized Yetis we've done for our top 40 clients one time. We did seasonal care packages at Halloween. So it's not always Cutco, but I do try to use unexpected pieces of Cutco. Melanie Galea, one of our clients, she lost an ice cream scoop and she was like telling me about it, and I just sent her one and she posted it all over social media, like just like stuff like that, when you're paying attention and just try to love on your top 20%, know who they are. We've done a couple client parties locally too. So bottom line, the gratitude machine is built to make generosity your default setting. So you can show up as who you want to be every single time for every single client. And you don't have to do this alone. We can help build parts of it with you. But, those are the 3 elements I think that are most important in the gratitude machine. I want to showcase the next 2 minutes, and then we're going to start to wrap this up a little bit. I'm going to share a game-changing skill set thing that it's just so excited to share with you guys, and then we'll start to wrap it up. And then we'll open it up for Q&A. But this guy, Derek Timmons, he's a client of ours in a neighboring city to Calgary. I'm here in Calgary. And Derek was a brand new agent 6 years ago. And I met him at an office meeting, much like this, but it was a local office meeting. I was presenting to his team, his office. And he ended up ordering a minimum order of gifts after the meeting. And so I sent him a piece of Cutco with a handwritten card, and have done so on every order since, building his collection, modeling for him what he can do with his clients. I kept in touch with him, as I was just talking about with you, with proactive reach outs, texts, videos occasionally, a call here and there, and just tried to be visible and valuable to him. And he engaged. He quickly became part of my VIP or gold group, my top 20%. So I recently sent him something to say thank you to him. I want you to just have a look.
I want to take a quick second to show some love and appreciation for my friend Vonnie Fast. I went to the mailbox today and I had this package in the mail. Well, Vonnie, I told her, you know what? I love my Cutco stuff. I love my Cutco stuff so much. And I asked her, hey, can you send me a pizza cutter? And she got me a pizza cutter. So I'm thinking to myself, that's so cool, but I went and took the extra step, the extra mile, and got a pocket knife with my name on it. And then she got one for my son. Thank you, Vonnie. Wow, what a cool thing to come home to at the end of your day.
you know, one of my mentors who wrote Giftology, he wrote, when you take care of the family, not doesn't have to be a pocket knife engraved with the son's name. It could be coloring books in with the closing, you know, or whatever for the kids or pet treats. When you take care of the family, everything else takes care of itself. So I get that not every client ends up being like Derek that engages like that with us. But when you play generously, you give first and you build a system around gratitude, you'll have more and more people engaging with you and looking for ways to refer you, kind of like this. Watch this. It's funny.
These are so sick. I love Cutco. I love my Cutco set. It's like my dream and my ambition every day to wake up and make sure that I can send more clients to you so you can send me more free Cutco. How weird is that? I don't even care about selling houses anymore. I just think to myself, who do I know that needs knives? And then I'll get a free piece of Cutco. I appreciate you, and thank you for the gifts. I really do appreciate it.
You know, some of you may have heard this quote, giving starts the receiving process. And, you know, when you're giving out there, however you're giving your value, your craft, your time, your attention, your presence, money, donations, gifts, whatever, do it without attachment. I think that's the real key. And it's interesting when I give out there as a business owner and giving, so much of what I feel like I get to receive is the relationship itself. And results all come from that. All right, I'm going to drop this skill set piece with you guys and then I'm going to end with a couple minutes just explaining educating you a little bit on Cutco Gifts and how we can support you. Don't worry, not a big sales pitch or anything like that. And then we're going to open it up for some Q&A. Okay, so I want to share this with you. It's called Planting the Seed. Now, some of you, if you've watched my webinars before, you'll know this, but have you integrated it? And I think it's one of the biggest skill sets when it comes to referrals, more than even asking for referrals, learning how to ask for referrals. And by the way, I will send you a script on how to plant the seed, how to ask for referrals, all that kind of stuff. But check this out. So I'm going to tell this in the form of a story. Tom Story is one of our clients, and he has an awesome business, much like probably some of you. 86% of his business is based on referral and repeat business already. He runs a small boutique team in Toronto. He's great. Great client of ours, great agent actually. And I've tried to mix in stories of mortgage brokers and realtors because we serve both, but this would apply to mortgage brokers as well, for sure. So Tom, he already had a strong business that way, but a couple years ago, he added one sentence to his buying and listing presentation, and increased his referral business by 46%. That year alone. All he did, and if you can find a way to integrate this into the beginning of your process while you're meeting with your clients, after you found out what's important to them and you've asked them all those important questions initially of what they're looking for, and just find a way to verbalize and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, seller, or whatever, you know, thank you so much for sharing all that stuff with me. Obviously, we're going to do our best to make sure this experience for you is, we're going to, you know, do what we do for you. And I want to share something that really matters to me too, that, you know, a lot of people don't know about mortgage brokers, or at least my business is, I really am building a referral-based business. Or if you've been in business a while, you can say like 70% of my business is based on referral. And just to let you know, my main goal here is to do such a great job for you that you feel compelled, that you can't help but refer me to your family and friends when they need help, so that they can have the same experience. And I want to earn that trust. And he said this at the beginning of every buying and listing presentation, increased his referral business by 46%. However you authentically say something like this, the key is to just simply share and verbalize that referrals actually matter and that you want to earn them. You want to work hard for them, okay? Because otherwise they don't know. Sometimes they don't know. Just to educate them that referrals matter. Okay. Last couple things, as you can probably tell, I'm passionate about making sure your clients stay your clients forever. And it's interesting on the gifting side, we talked about gifts in general, but when we came into the industry 16 years ago as a gifting agency, we found most mortgage brokers were giving gifts, or some of them were giving gifts baskets, gift cards, cookies, bottles of wine, dinner out, things like that. Those are great gifts, don't get me wrong, but we found most of them were being consumed immediately within the first 2 or 3 months, right? Or even 2 or 3 weeks. You know, you give it, they like it, they eat it, drink it, spend it, it's gone. They appreciate it, you know, but then it's gone, and it wasn't having a long-term impact for them or your business. And so that's what we wanted to change. And that's why knives, that's why Cutco, that's why we partnered with them, because it's interesting. Cutco, for those of you who don't know, they're like the Yeti of kitchen knives. They're really high quality, and people use them daily, whether they cook a ton or not. And so what we did is we pre-selected and curated for you out of our line the most popular pieces, the ones we knew everybody would use every day all the time, whether they cook a ton or not. And we put them in packages for you between 80 to 300. Most of our mortgage brokers tend to choose the gifts that are between the, you know, actually we do at 65 to 200 range. They pick and choose according to their budget. And then we have the ability to engrave on the blade your logo with gratitude, welcome home, congratulations, with gratitude, their name, your name, whatever, made especially for the family name. What that does, couple things. Sorry, keeps you top of mind forever. Every time they use it, they think of you, they remember you, and it's a system in place. We set you up with a small supply of gifts or whatever volume you want to have on hand. So you have them, you have them when you need them. You grab them, go give them, it's done. You can hand deliver, or we can ship for you directly to the client. So in summary, all the gifts range from 65 to 300, anywhere in there. From ice cream scoops, here's the scoop, you're the best. Thank you so much. Pie servers, it's been a pleasure serving you. Rooted in gratitude, like a garden trowel, you know, things like garden tools. The pizza cutter with pizza on move-in day, or pizza gift card, the Cutco spreader we talked about. Thanks for spreading the word as our #1 referral gift of all time. This here on the screen is the little knife that could, that Taylor sent. Our most popular mortgage broker gift of all time is right there, that one. We also have these gratitude boxes. We put the knife of your choice in, and you can add wine or olive oil on the side if they don't drink. And we have 2-piece packages as well. Okay, so everybody, we're doing 2 special things for you guys today. So first of all, you need to grab your phones. Hopefully they're handy, and scan this QR code. And what'll happen there, you'll fill out, it's just a couple questions. But we're going to enter you, if you put your name in there, we're going to enter you in a giveaway. Don't worry, we won't send a bunch of spam or anything like that. I'm going to send you referral scripts. So make sure you give me your name in there. Your email is great. So we're going to enter you in the draw to win a piece of Cutco, famous piece of Cutco, and referral scripts. And if you need gifting support or are curious about the gifts, you'll be able to indicate on that form whether you are or not. And if you are, I'll follow up. My team and I will follow up. I'll get you all the information that you need. I'll answer any questions you have. We might hop on Zoom, grab a quick call, whatever. I'm going to help you. I'm going to guide you. Okay. So scan that QR code. I'll give you a minute to do that. So just scan that QR code there, guys, and you'll get in the giveaway. And we'll send you referral scripts. So do that. Automatically get in the giveaway. And I'll probably do the video for those of you that are watching the recording and scanning. We'll do the draw on Friday. So it gives people time. We'll do the draw. I'll film it. I'll send the winner the result, like the video. So this will be fun. And the winner gets a piece of Cutco, famous piece of Cutco. Okay, is everyone good? Okay, and also I'll probably, send the link to the QR code or the form to Megan too, and she can send it out with a recording, but do it now if you can, if you're in a position to do so, if you're not driving. If you're not driving, scan that. Okay, everyone good? Okay, thanks Bud for the thumbs up there. Oh, and anybody that does end up ordering gifts this week from us that we can support, whether it's a new order or reorder, we're going to buy you an extra $125 in free Cutco as a thank you to you for your home, or for an extra gift, whatever. So I'm going to stop the screen share now, and we can open it up for some Q&A too, if people have any questions.
There actually are a few questions that came in.
Perfect.
For you, you had mentioned earlier about your 3 opportunities for gifts. I think it was a referral gift, a closing gift, and a VIP recognition.
Yeah.
And somebody was just asking, how do you actually recognize your VIPs?
Yeah, I gave some examples. Good question. So I had on the screen some examples of what we've done. So, I mean, we've done a couple of local client parties We've done that. We've done we've done seasonal care packages. We did some cookie decorating kits for like some of our top clients at Halloween a couple years ago. We've done, of course, like my go-to is Cutco. Clearly, like that's just sending out unexpected pieces of Cutco to my VIPs. Of course we do closing and referral gifts, like, right? We have systems for that.
Mhm.
But what else have we done VIP wise? We did personalized Yetis one year to our top 40. We've done, yeah, Cutco to our top 40, 50, and then unexpected pieces here and there to our top clients out of the blue. I call it planned randomness. At least once or twice a week, I'm sending out an unexpected gift, Cutco piece, to a VIP client just out of the blue. And guys, handwritten cards, honestly, like one year I did a gratitude project too. I wrote like, I did two cards a day, handwritten by me, 2 cards a day to my VIPs. And I think it took me about 5 months. I did a gratitude project. I didn't track the results like Nolan, that mortgage broker, did, because he's just like smart like that. But it was incredible to do. I was inspired by the book Mr. Thank You Project. And I think even the Happiness Project by Gretchen, things like these sorts of things, like how interesting gratitude can be when you're pouring that out and you're being grateful to people, how much it helps you too. Like, it's the best medicine in a way. If you're feeling, I don't know, I wasn't feeling any particular way, but it's incredible how uplifting it can be for you as a business owner. So hopefully that helps.
Yeah, I really liked what you had said earlier, where it said you measure your business. In our business, we measure by number of deals or volume.
Right.
You had talked about, and I had written down, just to measure your business by connections and activities. So make those goals of yours rather than the numbers that result of the activities and connections. So that's
I try, and also, but honestly, like obviously as any entrepreneur needs to be aware of their P&L, profit loss, like these sorts of things I go through quarterly. I do know my results in any given week or month in terms of number of, Cutco, like our sales and things like that. I am mindful of all that, but what I measure and what I focus on is the activity. I have a dashboard. It's a simple, honestly, Google Doc where I write like leads I've followed up with, like 1, 2, 3, 4, like people I followed up with, partners I've connected with, and then clients. And I'm just filling it out every day and tracking, reaching out and that's my activity and I guess what I measure more than anything else, because I think I learned this in business pretty young, and I think it's the hardest. I actually think it's the hardest thing to do. I think it's the simplest and the hardest, which is funny how life is like that, but is to detach from short-term results. Do the activity, measure the activity. It's kind of like working out, right? We work out and we don't sometimes see those results right away. And to just I always try to measure the activity, do the activity, show up, do my work, be there for people, show up, measure the activity and do it, and detach from short-term results.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I try.
There is one question here, which I think you'll appreciate, which is, and it may have been asked prior to us providing you with our name and information, so you may be able to address this with that contact information, but they're asking how they get to see the small orders and customized gifts from you.
Yeah, just if you filled out that QR code, that form, I'll follow up. My team and I will follow up, and I would be a contact to order small customized gifts. Yes, I hope that's what you're asking. I also see their Ravinder. So yeah, I can also put, if you were driving, I'll make sure Megan has the link to that form when she sends out the recording and the QR codes. If you were driving, you can just make sure to go on there, put your name, and indicate whether you're curious about the gifts, and I will help you. And I see Ravinder wrote, how would you show or say thank you for just being invited to a networking event of any kind? I love this. It's such a great question. It stands out so completely to send out. I remember being new in this industry and sometimes sending out a thank you card just for meeting somebody. It wasn't a deal, it wasn't a closed sale, it wasn't anything like that. Just like you send a thank you card to somebody you had a great conversation with, or that you were invited, like the organizers of an event. Huge. It stands out. It still stands out. Makes a difference. So that's what I would do, Ravinder. I would, of course, you can tag them on social now. You can do all those thank yous on social and say how great the event was and text them. But you send a handwritten card, it makes a difference, makes an impact.
That's awesome. Well, you can see the questions there. I think that was the last question that came in. If anyone has a question that's still on, feel free to ask away. But if I don't get another one, I think that's everything. I don't know if you noticed while you were speaking that, I don't know if you can see me while you were speaking,
I
but
saw you.
it looked like I was texting and doing things. I was actually sharing the link and telling people, encouraging, get on this call. This is a really good call. So we really appreciate the sharing of that information. And it obviously lines, like you said, we're not the same business, but it definitely lines up to the mortgage broker business. We appreciate your time and sharing that information. That was awesome.
Thank you so much, bud. Yeah, and for anonymous person that said, yes, please, didn't see the QR code, just know that I'll send out the link for that with Megan if you missed it for some reason. So thank you so much, you guys. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thank you. That was awesome. Appreciate it.
Okay. Cheers. Thanks, bud.
Okay. Yeah. Have a good one.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everyone.